That down, guys. Let's move on to this. You know, one of the big questions going into the box office at near the end of the year that a lot of people had was, which will be the bigger film? Mufasa or Sonic 3?
Mm-hmm.
Now, people got double mad at me because, number one, I told people Sonic 3 was not going to be a $1 billion film. And people thought I was insane for not believing it was going to be a $1 billion film.
I didn't either.
But there we go. But they got mad at me the second time around because I said I thought Mufasa was going to be the bigger movie. I thought Mufasa would probably make more money. I said Mufasa is also not going to make $1 billion. I said that from the day they announced the film. But I thought I had to guess Mufasa would be the bigger movie. Well, despite the fact that Sonic had a bigger opening, it's been looking very different. Take a look at the box office chart this weekend again. So Mufasa last week actually caught up to Sonic the Hedgehog, even though Sonic had a much bigger week one than Mufasa did.
Mm-hmm.
And now this week, it's past it. Now, I think it had a bigger 5-day holiday weekend last week, but I think the traditional 3-day window, Sonic was still ahead. Mufasa the Lion King, despite the fact that Sonic, in my opinion, is the better movie, I didn't particularly love Mufasa, to be honest. I love the first one. I don't care what anybody else says.
Lion King,
the 2019 Lion King was great.
Uh-huh.
It was great. I loved it. Not as good as the original, not at all, but it was still great. So I say this as somebody who loved the 2019 version. I didn't love Mufasa. I still can't hum one song from that movie. I don't ever plan on watching it. I didn't hate it, but I don't plan on watching it again. Sonic, on the other hand, purely delightful. I had a great time watching Sonic, but I still thought that Mufasa would be the better film. And as of right now, Mufasa the Lion King has pulled in, it's about to cross the $500 million mark. As of right now, it's pulled in $476 million. So it will cross the $500 million mark.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's significantly less than the 2019 film, but the 2019 film was a remake of the beloved classic. This is a original sequel, if you will.
And that one was live action. It had real lions.
Real talking lions.
Yeah.
Yep. A lot of people don't realize that. Actual talking lions. Whereas Sonic, I gotta say this though, Sonic the Hedgehog is disappointing at the box office.
Well, admittedly, for me, at least for all the Sonic movies, as much as I love them, for me, there's no rewatchability to any of them for me.
For the Sonic films?
Yeah. Even though I do love all of them, it's a one-time watch. I'm not going to the theater to watch Sonic 3 again. I'm sorry.
I watched the Sonic films multiple times myself.
Right. And for the same for me with Mufasa, it's a one-time watch for me too. And maybe there's just more people who wanted to watch Mufasa.
I think that's it. I mean, again, let's take a look at the
Disney,
Sonic box
after all.
office because, I mean, what did the last Sonic make? Can you pull that up?
Yeah.
But it's trailing behind it's even trailing behind the first movie.
405
for the first one, right?
Yeah, and then I'm gonna look at the second was 405.
Oh, the second one was 405.
Yeah, and the first one was
I want to say it was
319.
319. So it's past the first one.
Yeah,
But I mean, it may or may not
got
catch
another
up to the second one.
60 mil or so to go to beat the second one.
Yeah, just recently they confirmed they're going to make a Sonic 4.
Yeah.
I wonder if they might rethink that.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, because it's when Mufasa starts behind and takes the lead on you, and Mufasa's not that good of a film. Again, it's not bad. I didn't think Mufasa was a bad film, so don't misinterpret me.
I think it would have been better non-musical, and I have no problems with musicals.
Absolutely would have been better as a non-musical.
I just felt
the music wasn't good in it.
I just felt like the music was like, we have to get the characters from point A to point B. Let's just have a song to bridge that gap as they go through the valley.
Yeah.
It was just like, okay.
The music, I talk about this a lot, the music did not help tell the story of the movie.
No.
And even if it does tell the story of the movie, you got to make the songs catchy.
Mm-hmm.
And none of them were catchy either.
I actually think that if Wicked and
Moana?
Moana wasn't in theaters from the start, I think Mufasa would have been beating Sonic.
But
It's just
right from the beginning.
I've always thought Mufasa would be the bigger movie than Sonic. I was hoping Sonic would get at least 6, but that's not going to happen.
Close
Yeah,
now.
600.
Yeah.
million
So
isn't gonna happen
let's
for it,
stop
yeah.
my box office predictions forever from now on.
Yeah, so again, they've come out and announced, they've made it official, they're going to make a Sonic 4. I wonder if they're going to sit back, because listen, they made a good movie
Yeah.
with Sonic 3. They had a good marketing campaign. We love the trailers. The big announcement of, people, when they announced that Keanu Reeves was going to do it, and so people, John, they just announced Keanu Reeves. People love Keanu Reeves. It's going to make $1 billion. Okay, yes, but they announced Keanu Reeves was going to be in, which got a big splash.
Mm-hmm.
People were excited about it, and yet it is still, by Sonic standards, listen, there's some movies that would kill to make $340 million. But by Sonic standards, this thing is kind of limping along, and I wonder if maybe the passion for Sonic is waning with the audience. I don't know.
I want to bring up 2 other Paramount films. TMNT, Mutant Mayhem,
Right.
Transformers 1. Immediately after watching both of them, I wanted to go back and watch. Whether it's because I missed something, whether it's because I just wanted to see it again. Though I had that feeling after. The Sonic movies, I've never had that feeling afterwards.
I agree
It's
with
almost like I was full. I'm full already. Like, I don't need any more food.
I mean,
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're satisfied with what you got. You don't go around for seconds. And
Yeah.
I don't know what that problem with the Sonic movies
I just
is
think
for
they're
me.
very straightforward linear films.
Right.
And very, like, you do really have to. I mentioned this last week before I started dying, that you have to really set aside your, like, disbelief, because there's a lot of stuff that just conveniently happens in it, and that's the tone of the film. I get it, but I think once you get it, once you watch it, you're like, okay, and then this happens, A, B, C, D, it's done, it's cute, you move on, you know?
Right.
Yeah, listen, one of my, I loved Sonic 3, but it is my 3rd favorite of the Sonic films. And one of the things I mentioned was that in every Sonic movie, there is a degree of silliness.
Yeah.
Like all the number 1 does, number 2 does. I just kind of felt like part 3, and I think maybe this is the reason it's my 3rd favorite. They kind of like Thor: Love and Thunder. They leaned a little bit too much into the silliness. Like, again, the other ones have silliness too, but the silliness is used well. This one felt a little silly for the sake of being silly sometimes, and it took away from some of the more solid parts of the film. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Hungryroot. You know, grocery shopping used to be one of the biggest struggles. Between your busy schedule and wanting to eat healthier, it just feels impossible to stay on top of everything. But all that changes when you discover Hungryroot, the easiest way to eat healthy without the hassles. Hungryroot is like having your own personal grocery shopper. They take care of the weekly shopping for you, recommending healthy, high-quality groceries tailored to your tastes, nutritional preferences, and even health goals. They've got it all: smoothies, snacks for the kids, ready-to-eat meals, and even supplements. For me, Hungryroot is absolutely a game changer, guys. My health goals have become so much easier to stick to. I love how they personalize my cart every week and even get smart about my preferences as I go. It's honestly stress-free and so simple. You're gonna love Hungryroot as much as I do. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/Campea and use the code Campea. That's hungryroot.com/Campea, using the code Campea to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/Campea, code Campea.
One thing I would have added, I don't know how they would have done it, but a little bit more James Marsden would have been.
I agree. I really like James Marsden in this, but I'll tell you this too. Look, they've officially announced Sonic 4. They are probably going to make it, but I'll say this. Don't bother if you can't get Jim Carrey back.
Yeah.
Because I hate saying it, but like Jim Carrey has turned out to be the star of the Sonic films.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
And he was the best part of Sonic 3.
And one of the best parts about Sonic, I
Both
thought,
of them, his
was
characters.
the James Marsden relationship with Sonic. Whether you saw him as either a dog or his own kid. I really missed that in Sonic 3. That little back and
The
forth.
dynamic between James Marsden
Yeah,
and
because
Sonic.
it
They
brings
definitely
it-
could have used that.
It brings it home for a lot
It gives
of
it
us.
more heart.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
Relatable heart. And I think they tried doing a little bit of that in this movie, but it didn't do it as effectively. And I think you're right. I think it needed a little bit more James Marsden. And they had a perfect amount of Jim Carrey. Again, every best part of this movie was Jim Carrey with as himself as his grandpa.
Yep.
That, again, I still see the dance scene is going to be, if I did do a list of my top 5 funniest moments and movies of 2024, that dance scene would absolutely be on that list. I laughed out loud so hard when they started doing that. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? After coming out to a pretty solid start, Sonic has kind of started to sputter a bit at the box office. Mufasa, which is a movie that isn't even as good as it is, Mufasa is now past it. It's almost like a good $100 million ahead of it worldwide. It looks like Mufasa is going to cross the $500 million mark this week, and I don't think Sonic's going to get there, despite the fact that they made a pretty damn good movie. So I don't know, what's the problem here? Whatever you guys think about it, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.